Part 17. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 161. A bloody battle. The heavy sword came out from Suchen's hand, suddenly slashing towards the bright war angel in the air. The latter was surprised at first. "You, my god's time and space seal is ineffective on you." Then, another flash of contempt flashed in his eyes. "Ha, don't you know that the skills of mortals are useless against true gods?" The angel of light waved the divine sword in his hand at will. Like swatting away flies, he wanted to swat out the bloody streak. However, the moment the divine sword in his hand came into contact with the bloody streak, the angel of light's eyes widened suddenly, showing an expression of disbelief. Then, this expression turned into panic. Bang, bang, bang. 3 powerful divine power barriers in a row, equivalent to 3 times of 3 million HP superimposed. It was actually easily chopped into pieces by Suchen's sword. What's even more horrifying is, after bloody Pylian effortlessly chopped into pieces of her combat barrier, he still had undiminished power and slashed towards her body again. Body of true God. In a critical moment, the angel of light shouted loudly. The body actually became transparent, revealing a golden godhead inside. Driven by the thoughts of the bright war angel, the godhead bloomed with brilliant divine light. Then the entire transparent body was wrapped. Buzz. A thin layer like a glazed golden body covered its entire body. It looks more and more sacred. Defense power *500%. A moment. The defense of the angel of light has skyrocketed from the original 500,000 to 2.5 million points. However, even this is the case. At the moment when the bloody horse struck the body of the war angel of light, above his head, there was still a super high damage of -8.5 million. That is to say, the attack of Suchen's sword just now was as high as 20 million points. The 7 million blood points of the angel of light can be cleared instantly. You, actually have the power to kill gods. Frightened and angry flashed in the eyes of the light war angel. Although it was just a projection of her that came to the divine continent, it also used more than 10% of her body's power. She was killed just like that. As a person under the throne of the Lord of Light, she one of the main combat forces, the battle angel who regards fighting as the only meaning of life, was actually killed by a mortal. This is definitely a shame and humiliation for the light battle angel. At the same time, it further aroused the fighting spirit in her heart. King's Landing, you are the first person to defeat this god in thousands of years. Although this is not the true strength of this god. But next time I come, I will use your blood to wash away this shame. Hearing the words of the angel of light, Suchen raised his eyebrows. So, brother, I took your clothes no. The angel of light was stunned at first. When he reacted, his almost transparent and delicate face showed an expression of extreme shame, anger, and rage. For thousands of years, the noble true God, angel of light, 6 wings, has never how dare anyone tease her like this. However, before she could take any further action, there was a bang. The entire huge body, including the 6 wings on her body, the golden divine armor, and the divine sword in her hand, collapsed into countless fragments and dissipated in the sky. In the void. Ding. Congratulations on successfully killing the projection of War Angel of Light 6 wings. Gain experience value *200 million, leap level experience bonus. Ding. You get blood of gods and demons *100. Ding. You get divine fragment *1. Ding. You get golden holy light *10. Hearing the system prompt tone, Suchen was slightly startled. Is it just a projection? But since one of the opponent's godhead fragments has been chopped off, the opponent's godhead must be damaged. This is definitely a serious injury to a real god. If you want to repair the godhead again, unless the existence of the main god level is willing to take action. Otherwise, it will take at least 10,000 years for the Light War Angel to repair it by itself. I don't know what this golden holy light is. This was the first time for Suchen to obtain such a thing. Curious, click on the item description. Golden holy light. Grade, God level. Description, the source of power of bright war angel 6 wings. As time goes by, the energy in the golden holy light is rapidly disappearing. This holy light can temper any weapon below the God level, and has a very powerful attack bonus against evil camp units. Tempering weapons. Can it increase the attack power against the evil camp? Suchen looked at a ray of golden holy light in his hand, which was dimming rapidly. If not used, it would all be wasted. He immediately photographed it in the semi-artifact Zushan Emperor. Bang! It was like a heavy hammer. It was like hitting a red-hot iron block. The sword body of the heavy sword Zushan Emperor immediately burst out with hot sparks. At the same time, the brightness of the golden holy light became even darker, flickering, as if at any time it is possible that they will be extinguished. Let's look at the properties of the épée in your hand. Forbidden killing the heavenly emperor. Number of holes that can be embedded, 1, already embedded soul of the holy dragon 1, purple lightning 1, royal god *1. Level, semi-artifact. Player restrictions, Junlin level requirements, level 15. Attack, 5000. Additional attributes, HP add 3000, Constitution add 50, Strength add 50, Intelligence add 50, King's Chi, Forbidden God Destruction. Special additional attributes, Holy Light Suppression, inflicts weapons on evil camp units, basic attack value true damage effect. Description, because of the incorporation of Blood Dragon chips, this semi-artifact has a stronger forbidden spell skill than the Holy Magic Cannon, making it a god-level killer. See the properties of this semi-artifact. A description of special additional attributes suddenly came. Suchen's eyes suddenly lit up. You can turn the weapon's basic attack value into a real damage attack against evil camp units. Awesome. In this way, whether it is an undead knight, a soul general, or a stronger black-robed soul general, my death-killing emperor can hit 5000 points of real damage attack. Suchen was overjoyed. Golden holy light can only temper weapons. I don't know if I can temper rapid-fire artillery and rocket launchers. The idea just emerged. Bang! The golden holy light in his hand, which had been flickering, completely disintegrated into nothingness. At the same time, the brightness of the other 9 golden holy lights in the backpack also dimmed rapidly. No. If you want to return to Dragon City now, it's too late to temper the cannon. Let me think. Suchen's thoughts raced in his mind. Got it? I can use them to temper them, just for use against the soul generals of the Dark Temple. Even, a black-robed soul general. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 162. Just when Suchen was tinkering with the golden holy light like no one else was around. Millions of players on the battlefield, including billions of viewers in the live broadcast room, were already dumbfounded. Kill the true god with one sword. Even the 6-winged war angel who slaughtered millions in a rage was cut into nothingness by his sword. You know, that is the real god. The attributes and combat power far exceed those of the demigod Seraph. He still died in Suchen's hands. He also risked the life of the Red Archbishop of the Church of Light in vain. Is this battle going to be like the last battle for the city founding order, with Junlin having the last laugh? A true god can kill, so what else can't he do? Looking at the arrogant figure standing alone in the field. The same thought came to everyone's heart, although he is not a god, this battle is enough to make him stand shoulder to shoulder with the true god. But the person involved, Suchen, did not he ignored the exclamations and fearful looks of the people around him. Instead, he summoned 1,000 dragon knights from the dragon general's space. This scene once again shocked all the players around him. Last time there were 100 dragon knights, but now it has increased tenfold to 1,000. Where did he find these cavalry and thunder dragon mounts? Is there really a game backend that gives him soldiers and money? Fortunately, compared with the thousands of rapid-fire artillery pieces, multi-barreled self-aiming rocket launchers, and even Suchen killing the true god with one sword, the sudden increase in the number of dragon riders is not an exaggeration. See General. As soon as the thousands of dragon knights appeared, they immediately saluted Suchen with his right hand and beat his chest, and shouted in unison. Suchen had no time to pay attention to these guys. He asked them to put the second-generation 6-barrel Gatling in their hands aside. Suchen held a piece of golden holy light and wiped it from the Gatling in their hands. Misso, misso, misso. The golden holy light rubbed the barrel of the gun, sparks flying all the way. At the same time, these 6-tube Gatlings are given the attribute of holy light suppression. 1,000 Gatlings were tempered along the way. 9 rays of the golden holy light in his hand have been consumed. Suchen used the remaining strand to refine the more than 600 Gatlings in his backpack. When it was tempered to the 137th level, the last ray of golden holy light dissipated and disappeared. A total of 1,137 Gatlings were tempered. Suchen took out a handful and looked at the attributes. Second generation 6-tube Gatling, unstable. Grade, dark gold. Occupational restrictions, no limit. Level requirements, level 10. Attack, 300. Attack speed, 3,600 rounds/minute. Durability, 10,800. Additional attributes, hit add 100%, explosion impact, ultimate penetration. Special additional attributes, holy light suppression, causing true damage to evil camp units based on the weapon's basic attack value. Description: compared with the first generation, the durability of the second generation has been significantly improved. If a stable version can be created, it will definitely rewrite the entire war history of the Divine Continent. Haha. In this way, a handful of Gatling can cause a total of 3.24 million real injuries to the soul generals of the Dark Temple. A mere 5,000 soul generals are not enough for us to sweep away. Even if they sacrifice themselves and summon ghosts and gods, they will be killed by Gatling in advance and then abruptly interrupted to sacrifice. The effect is even stronger than a rocket launcher. Thinking of this, Suchen felt a big itch in his heart. He was about to lead 1,000 dragon riders to find 5,000 soul generals from the Dark Temple to try the tempered version of Gatling. Suddenly, a huge exclamation sounded on the battlefield. At the same time, 10 consecutive screams tearing through the air came from behind. Suchen suddenly turned around. At some point, a total of 10 six-winged battle angels appeared in the air. Each one was 100 meters high. The first battle angel, there was actually a person standing on his shoulders. He was blonde and blue-eyed, and he was the war overlord. At this moment, he was full of energy and red. Pointing forward, they all rushed towards Dragon City. Behind him, there were 500 griffins and lions. The griffin carried 500 flying knights and accompanied them. Such a luxurious lineup completely shocked the entire battlefield. Even the billions of viewers watching the live broadcast room were dumbfounded. I go. Is that the North M War Overlord? He can actually stand on the shoulders of the true God. A total of 10 six-winged war angels. How did it come out? It's too scary. One six-winged war angel slaughtered millions of people on Broken Dream Island, and now 10 of them appeared directly. And the Flying Knight? It turns out that the War Overlord Guild has always had flying cavalry. Or griffin soldiers. This guy is hiding very deep. I thought that the war was over just now when the King of Kings Landing killed the true god. Unexpectedly, the war overlord came again like this. It turns out, the one who has the last laugh is the war overlord. When the six-winged battle angel beneath his feet flew over Suchen, the war overlord, who had always maintained his composure, finally couldn't help but curl up his lips. He glanced at him coldly with a bit of pride. Just now, Suchen angrily killed the true god war angel. The war overlord was hiding behind and secretly using the artifact fragments, the shattered god-level mirror scepter. Use up all the energy in the artifact fragments to copy war angel of light 6 wings. Unexpectedly, he actually succeeded in copying it. As soon as the angel of light died, he immediately summoned all 10 copied mirror images. The image lifetime is 10 minutes. Don't dare waste time. The war overlord will attack the target, aiming directly at Dragon City. As for Suchen, just skip it. Although Suchen seems to have all his cards now, there are still 1,000 dragon cavalry, who knows if there are any other options. The war overlord did not dare waste time on Suchen. What he needs is the city building order. As long as the dragon city is destroyed and the griffin soldiers get the order to build the city, then in this battle, his war overlord will be the biggest winner. And from the battle between Suchen and the six-winged war angel just now, the war overlord could also see that Suchen chose to fight the true god outside the city in order to protect Dragon City. In other words, the true god's attack is enough to destroy Dragon City. King's Landing, I really want to thank you for forcing the Red Archbishop to come to battle Angel. Although the attributes of the mirror image I copied are much worse than those of the real battle Angel, there is definitely no problem in using it to destroy Dragon City. The war overlord looked at the Dragon City, which was as huge as a mountain, with piercing eyes. When he glanced at the rapid-fire artillery and more powerful rocket launchers on the city wall, he felt infinite greed in his heart. Destroying Dragon City should also explode Dragon City items. Ha 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 ha. Junlin, I won't be polite to your kind wishes. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 163. Suchen was really shocked when he saw 10 six-winged war angels. After looking at the attributes of these battle angels, I breathed a sigh of relief. HP 350,000, attack 300,000, defense 50,000, no skills. Well, it only lasts 10 minutes. However, Dragon City's defense only has nearly 110,000 points. Durability 1.49 million points. If the 10 War Angel mirror images attack together, the Dragon City can be destroyed in one wave. Of course, Suchen couldn't let the War Overlord's conspiracy succeed. But now Shura's strike cannot be used until tomorrow. Forbidden God Destroyer can only kill demigods. Although these mirror images have low attributes, they are copies of true gods, so the God Destroyer blow cannot kill these mirror images. Then use that skill, just try the effect. At that moment, he roared. His fists collided hard. Bang! Activate the holy level skill, God descends to earth. In an instant, his size instantly increased tenfold. Transformed into an 18-meter-tall giant. In his hand was the semi-artifact heavy sword, the Emperor of Heaven's Punishment, unexpectedly increased to 13 meters long. At the same time, the health value *10 times. Attack power *10 times. Defense power *10 times. Movement speed *10 times. The health volume increased to 360,000, and the attack increased to 108,000, and the defense has reached 66,000. With this attribute, and the Lonely Mountain Guardian necklace that reduces the damage taken by 50%, Suchen alone can completely harden 3 mirror battle angels. Thinking of this, he raised his huge eyes and looked at the mirror image of the battle angel flying past his head with fighting spirit. Although these guys can fly in the air, their speed is about the same as ordinary horse mounts. The height is not high, only 3 meters high. More than 10 meters. Suchen's original moving speed was more than twice that of ordinary players. Now his moving speed has increased tenfold on this basis. It has already been 6 or 7 times faster than a galloping horse. To catch up, don't be too relaxed about these mirror images. He shouted loudly at that moment, stepped out in a few steps, stepped hard on the ground with both feet, and then bounced violently. Boom! He immediately stepped on the ground and made 2 huge pits 2 meters deep. At the same time, dust and smoke were everywhere under his feet. The whole person soared into the sky like a giant bird. Holding a giant sword in his hand, he aimed at the 500 griffin soldiers who fell at the rear. It was a direct strike of fire dragon slash. This one was originally only 12 meters long. An epic advanced skill with a fan-shaped attack range. Because of the blessing of Suchen's arm length and the 13-meter blade of the heavy sword Zushan Emperor, the entire attack radius reached a terrifying 32 meters. The sky-high flames and sword light flashed. 3 more than 100 griffin soldiers didn't even utter a scream. They were instantly swept into pieces of flesh, and then burned into charcoal. They were still in the air. Suchen activated unparalleled evil madness again. Increase the attack speed to the limit. Taking advantage of the situation, he swept across with another sword. Although it was not as powerful as the effect of Mad Dragon Slash, it also swept away more than 80 griffin soldiers. Only then did the body follow the gravity and hit the ground heavily. From Suchen activated God descends to earth and swept through nearly 400 griffin soldiers. The whole process only took 3 seconds. By the time everyone reacted, Suchen had already completed the first blow of the pursuit. He can actually transform into a giant. Damn it! What else can't he do? He actually has a trump card. How many powerful backup men does this King's Landing have? Damn, he swept away the opponent's 400 griffin soldiers with one strike. Is this a swarm of flies? It's too shocking. So fast. Those running on the ground are actually faster than others flying. Wait, he's still jumping up. Is he going to kill the battle angel with a basic attack? Millions of people on the battlefield were all dumbfounded. They saw the 18-meter tall Suchen, holding a giant sword. After a few easy trots, he was walking side by side and head to head with the 10 mirror images of battle angels in mid-air. The battle angel was standing there. The war overlord on his shoulders was staring at Dragon City with an excited expression. Suddenly, from the corner of his eye, he felt as if he spotted a strange thing following him. He subconsciously turned around and looked. It didn't matter, and he almost got scared. His tongue was bitten off. At some point, Suchen transformed into an 18-meter tall giant. He walked hand in hand with his battle angel flying team. Seeing him looking over, the giant version of Suchen grinned at him and revealed Bisensen's teeth. Not good. The war overlord quickly turned his head and looked back. He saw that the 500 griffin soldiers in the rear were originally densely packed like a dark cloud, but now there were only 100 left. And they were running away in panic. Even the flying ones on their backs, the knights have lost a lot of them. When did he launch the attack? I didn't notice it at all. The war overlord realized that something was wrong, and a chill suddenly rose from his tailbone to the Tianling cap. His scalp was numb. These griffin soldiers were all treasures that he had acquired with great difficulty. Raise. All griffin soldiers have been upgraded. The war overlord issued an order while controlling a battle angel image, breaking away from the formation and attacking Suchen. Trying to hold the opponent back, he first destroyed Dragon City and then dealt with him. The battle angel image has limited strength and no skills. The current soaring height has reached the limit. If what his war overlord got was not a piece of artifact, but a real artifact, there would be no such restrictions. Boom. At this moment, there was a loud noise again, there was a sound. Two deep footprints were imprinted on the ground. Suchen rose into the air again. He raised the giant heavy sword Zushan Emperor in his hand and slashed towards the group of War Angel mirror images. Chi, chi, chi. The sword swept directly towards the three mirror images. The huge sword passed through the waist and abdomen of the mirror images, as if passing through the air. But these mirror images were actually hurt. -58,000. -16,600. 2x critical hit. -490,000. 5x critical hit. The normal attack actually triggered 2 critical hits in a row. One of them even triggered the highest 5 times critical hit. Directly reduce the blood volume of a battle angel's mirror image and cut it into the air with one sword. Swish. The mirror image of this unlucky battle angel instantly collapsed into nothingness. This scene immediately made the war overlord's heart go cold. This guy turned into a giant, and his attack was so ridiculously high. Even the critical hit multiplier and critical hit rate are so high. With one sword, he can kill one mirror image and even injure 2 mirror images. But he didn't wait for the war overlord to react. Suchen swung another sword in mid-air. Chi, chi, chi. -490,000. 5x critical hit. -38,200. 4x critical hit. -490,000. 5x critical hit. This sword is even more terrifying. All of them are super high critical hits. Kill 3 mirror images with one sword. Suchen soared into the air for just 2 seconds. He actually killed 4 War Angel images directly. Just like chopping melons and vegetables, it's so clean and frightening. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 164. Rush, rush, rush. The War Overlord turned red-eyed and controlled the remaining 6 War Angel images. He flew towards Dragon City with all his strength. At the same time, he tried to get rid of the giant's pursuit. But now Suchen's speed was several times faster than his. It was impossible to get away. Easy. Boom. There was another earth-shattering sound. Suchen jumped again, and his sword light shot twice in succession. Another 3 War Angel images collapsed into nothingness. And this time, while falling, he put away his long sword. Suddenly stretched out his hands, grabbed the foot of the nearest battle angel mirror image, and pulled it suddenly. Bang! 1 person and 1 angel fell heavily to the ground. The battle angels are just mirror images, without wisdom. Without the control of the War Overlord, then only a simple fighting instinct. Phew! This battle angel struck at Suchen with a sword. The latter did not avoid it and took the blow forcefully. -116,730. Suchen's head floated with a damage value of more than 110,000. But he didn't care. After using Devil Blood Bottle, it will be full instantly. He immediately waved his fists fiercely, hitting the opponent's face with a slap in the face. The Battle Angel mirror image had suffered 300,000 real damage and shock damage just now. Now being hit by Suchen's punch, he couldn't even resist one punch, and his body exploded to death. Finished solving this mirror. Suchen raised his head angrily. The fierce gleam in his eyes. The War Overlord in mid-air was so frightened that the dead souls came out. He didn't expect that Suchen, without Shura's sword and god-destroying strike, would still be so fierce. In close combat, he is even more like a madman. In just 10 seconds, out of 10 War Angel images, only 1 was left. Now, let alone destroying Dragon City, even self-protection has become a problem. Griffin. Hurry up and get some griffins to escort you. Pick me up. War Overlord roared at the guild channel with red eyes. Suchen can only bounce to a height of 30 or 40 meters at most. As long as he rides the griffin to an altitude of more than 100 meters, War Overlord can escape from Suchen's pursuit. Just at the three heads when the griffin flew towards him under the control of the flying knight. Whoosh! 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 From the direction of Dragon City. Suddenly, dozens of strange sounds came from the direction. Damn it! The War Overlord felt as if he heard the sound of death, his limbs became cold for an instant, and he turned his eyes stiffly. I saw hundreds of red tail flames rising into the sky from Dragon City. Turning through graceful curves, they blasted towards the griffin soldiers in the air at supersonic speeds with incomparable precision. Boom, boom, boom. Brilliant sparks bloomed in the sky. The last 100 griffins were all blasted by Dragon City rocket launchers. Countless feathers and burnt pieces of meat fell from the sky, even carrying a strange smell of meat. And the War Overlord's dream of escape was scattered all over the ground like the pieces of griffin meat. I'll fight you! The War Overlord roared with red eyes. He is also a hero of the generation. Now that he knows he will die, he still wants to bite off a piece of the opponent's flesh at the last moment. Just when he was about to control the War Angel image under his feet to attack Suchen. A 13-meter-long heavy weapon, the sword, passed through the back of the Battle Angel. Minus 490,000. 5x critical hit. Bang. The last Battle Angel image shattered in response, falling apart like broken crystal. The War Overlord's feet lost support and fell down. Suchen reached out to catch it. Boom. Suchen landed heavily, his feet kicking up smoke and dust on the ground. Huge eyes looked at the War Overlord in his hands. The latter's body was trembling, and he used all his strength and courage to roar at Suchen. I, the Overlord of War, will never surrender to you. Byaji. Suchen pinched it with one hand. The War Overlord was like an egg, which was easily crushed by Suchen, causing blood to splash everywhere. Ding. The player War Overlord has been killed by you. The clone Black Dragon G Mengli gains experience points *1000. Huh? What exploded? Suchen looked at a fragment left in his hand. Ding. You obtain artifact fragments, collapsed God-level mirror scepter. Broken God-level mirror scepter, the divine power has been exhausted. Level, God level. Function, infused with divine power, it can copy any object up to the God level and gain 10% of the attributes of the copied object. The more divine power you have, the more copies you can obtain. Mirror images cannot use any skills or talents. Description: the forbidden scepter created by the mages of the ancient Great Yan Empire thousands of years ago, if it can be restored to its original state, can even be copied into a powerful mirror image with the same attributes and skills as the original body. I go. This guy, War Overlord, actually got such a good thing from him. Suchen immediately put it away. The moment he saw the attributes and description of this artifact fragment, Suchen thought of its use, to fuse it into a super god level skill of his own. In this way, when encountering a group of people when fighting, activate this super god level skill. You can copy 10 or even 100 copies of yourself in an instant. That would be so cool. God descends to earth. The 20-second duration was up, and Suchen quickly shrank back to his normal state. At this time, an emergency call came from the half-awake fox. Brother Junlin, come to the south of the city to put out the fire. The opponent discovered the flaw of our level 999 god, and 5,000 soul generals rushed towards Dragon City again. Brother, I can't stand it anymore. It's hard for half-awakened fox, a human spirit in his 40s. Pretending to be a god, he actually blocked the forces of the Dark Temple for such a long time. At that moment, Suchen summoned the Thunder Dragon King. He led 1,000 dragon riders all the way across the Dragon City, rushing towards the battlefield south of the city. The defenders of the surrounding Dragon City burst into cheers like a mountain roar and a tsunami. Mars, the sound of killing the god resounded through the sky. She was mixed in with a group of defenders, looking at the dragon rider passing by with a red face, cheering sharply for the male god. She gave up all the ladylikeness and reserve, and now she is one of Chen's die-hard fans. In the barrage in the live broadcast room, even people who don't like Chen now have to admit that Chen is so powerful that no one can match it. Zunlong looked at Chen's back, his eyes looking towards the south of the city. I hope you can create miracles again. The power of the Dark Temple is no weaker than that of the Light Church. Dear black-robed soul general, look. This is the true face of the so-called God that I just recorded. Kuroda Ifu unfolded a virtual screen. On the screen, a mighty 999 level god in a golden armor shirt suddenly shrank and collapsed. Finally, he turned into a fat uncle in his 40s. Seeing this scene, the black-robed soul general snorted coldly. Looking at the 5,000 soul general knights who had already rushed towards Dragon City, he said sadly. You did very well. After destroying Dragon City, city building order can be rewarded to you. Kuroda's charioteer was overjoyed when he heard this. He quickly bent his body even lower and suppressed the ecstasy in his heart and said loudly. Thank you, sir. If an adult takes action, Dragon City will be destroyed. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 165. South of the city. The half-awake fox stood on the tower. Looking at the surging 5,000 soul knights from the Dark Temple, I felt extremely worried. These soul knights are too powerful. Not only is its own attributes powerful, but the key is that it can also summon angels to come. If Chen couldn't arrive in time, he would be the biggest sinner if the south of the city was broken. Brother Junlin, you must arrive. Brother, I don't have much ability. If you give me the task of guarding the city wall, I'm afraid I won't be able to complete it. The half-awake fox sighed. There was a rare look of determination in his eyes. This is extremely rare in a sophisticated and sociable old fox. But brother, I still have hundreds of thousands of guild members under my command. The half-awake fox looked at the members of the Jialan temple on the left and right sides. Because they were previously attacked by a group of Light War Angel 6 Wings' magical skill Light Wings. More than 30,000 people died in Jialan temple. Most of the people were separated by the other 3 walls. At this time, there were less than 50,000 members on the South City wall side. He smiled bitterly and took out the staff that he had not used for a long time. He shouted sharply on the guild channel. There are all 50,000 members in Nanchinj. Follow me out of town. Fight against the spirit general. The half-awake fox understood deeply that Dragon City cannot be broken. Once it is broken, God of War Galaxy Fire Phoenix Jialan Temple, the 4 guilds tied together will fall into a place of no return. That's the case. If the 5,000 souls of the Dark Temple want to break through the Dragon City, they must first get over the corpses of their 50,000 members of the Jialan Temple. This battle costs lives. We must support him until Chen arrives. The 50,000 Jialan Temple members stationed on the South City wall all trembled when they heard the boss's words. Immediately afterwards, everyone silently followed the footsteps of the boss and gathered towards the bottom of the city. Around Galaxy Fire Phoenix Guild members, seeing this scene, most of them had red eyes. Yeah, it's too tiring for me to throw stones at the city wall in a close combat, so it would be more exciting to charge outside the city. A 30-year-old main shield player from Galaxy Guild took out his shield, spat, and resolutely followed the footsteps of Jialan Temple. Following the movements of the shield player, more players left. The city walls were stationed at their positions and people descended on the city one after another. It's too boring to stand on the city wall and throw magic balls. It's more exciting to go out and fight in the city. The women of our Fire Phoenix Guild are never bad. You can go, and so can we. Are you afraid of a ball? Aren't they just 5,000 soul generals? I'll charge them all with a single charge. I wipe it. Why is your wet nurse going to town? This is the world of warriors, stay at the city wall and don't join in the fun. At the South City Gate. The half-awake fox looked at the nearly 100,000 players behind him, his eyes red. As expected, none of the Dragon City defenders were cowards. Not even a single one of them went to die outside the city. They all came down. At this time, only thousands of Suchen's NPC defenders remained on the South City wall, still holding onto it. The half-awake fox had no time to be sentimental. 5,000 Soul General Knights are less than 3,000 meters away from Nanchinj. Every second every night, Dragon City becomes more critical. Then he roared angrily, "Open the city gate." Boom. The giant city gate, more than 50 meters high, slowly opened. The half-awake fox also raised his staff at the same time and shouted angrily. "Dragon City defenders, charge with me. Kill. Kill, kill, kill." Nearly 100,000 players poured out of the South City Gate like a torrent. Fearless of the army of soul generals whose aura was as deep as abyss and prison, each one bravely charged forward as if they were dead. Boom. The last player rushed out, and the South City Gate was closed. These 100,000 players all knew in their hearts that if they went to fight outside the city, there would be no chance of death. Therefore, everyone burst out with unprecedented bloodiness, staring at the approaching army of soul generals, gritting their teeth and charging forward with a roar. Their strength, compared with the 5,000 soul generals, may be extremely ridiculous. Their formation is even like a rabble. But the momentum and bloody spirit that burst out from them left millions of 20-nation alliance players around them a deep impression. Are all the people in Dragon City so cruel? Knowing that they will die, they still press forward. These people are so stupid. Yes, it's so stupid. If our alliance army had their stupidity, Dragon City might have been captured. Kuroda's charioteer looked at the Dragon City defenders who came out of the city to fight with a gloomy face. Dragon City not only has rock-solid walls and ferocious artillery, but also the military spirit is so brave and sincere. This made him a little jealous and crazy. Snort. It's like a worm trying to shake a tree, or a mantis using its arm as a cart. Needless death will only make Dragon City even weaker. Boom. The distance between the two sides is 1,000 meters. 5,000 souls shook the earth like thunder with the sound of horse hooves. It made people's hearts beat like drums and panicked. The half-awake fox was old and a mage. As he ran, he was gradually thrown away by the crowd. Behind him, while vigorously moving his legs, he gritted his teeth and shouted, "Dragon City defenders, fight to the death! Fight to the death!" Nearly 100,000 players shouted in unison. "Fight to the death! Fight to the death! Fight to the death!" The 1,000-meter distance passed by in a flash. The Soul General Knight riding a tall double-headed bone dragon and holding an epic soul-destroying spear had an expression of indifference and coldness. At the same time, he accelerated the speed of the mount under him even faster. Then he crashed into 10 in the midst of the tide of Wanlong City defenders. For a moment, the player warriors at the front were slaughtered and trampled by the double-headed bone dragon like waves smashed by rocks. The defenders behind him saw this scene, with fear in their eyes. Intention. However, in the sound of "fight to the death" shouted by the people around him, he once again summoned up the remaining courage in his heart, raised the war shield, long sword, staff, dagger, bow and arrow in his hand, and rushed towards the Soul General cavalry. In just 2 seconds, 10 seconds, the number of defenders players died was as high as 50,000. The half-awake fox in the rear burst into tears. There were many elite members of Jialan Temple in the front, and they spent a lot of energy and financial resources to train them. Now they are used to delay the souls. They were cannon fodder to attack the army. But these elite members had no complaints. They even took the lead bravely. Soon, 80,000 defenders died on the battlefield. There were no more players in the front to stand in front of the half-awakened fox. All around them they were some players with short legs or older people like him. Looking at the two-headed bone dragon getting closer and closer. The half-awake fox stood in front of him. Bang! In an instant, a huge force came. The half-awake fox was like the rag bag was knocked away by the bone dragon. Tens of thousands of attack damage floated above his head. Just as his body was flying in mid-air, he suddenly discovered that the South City Gate had actually opened again. At the huge city gate, Su could be vaguely seen. Chen's familiar figure. Under him is the Thunder Dragon King's mount, which is more majestic than the Soul General's army. Behind him are thousands of dragon cavalry troops whose aura is not weak at all. They are shouting, "Fight to the death, fight to the death." Rumble and rush in angrily. The weapons in their hands are a bit strange, 6 tubes and 2 handles. How come they look so much like a modern thermal weapon? However, Su Chen finally arrived. Dragon City is saved. The half-awake fox smiled and closed his eyes, chose death, and returned to the city, turning into white light and disappearing into the sky. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 166. Step aside. Get out of the way. There were less than 10,000 Dragon City garrison players left. When they saw Su Chen finally arriving with the dragon riders, tears filled their eyes. They quickly got out of the way of the charge. Su Chen raised his hand high, second-generation 6-barreled Gatling, shouted. "Brothers, take out our big treasure and give these grandchildren of the Dark Temple a taste." Boom! 1,000 dragon knights holding the jet-black Gatling aloft followed Su Chen and rushed towards the Soul General army. The Dragon City defenders on both sides were dumbfounded. King's Landing boss, what did they take? Could it be some kind of hidden weapon triggering device? 6 tubes and magazine. Damn it! It's Gatling. I saw it in the forum video. The King's Landing boss used it in Falcon Plateau. Gatling, are you going to use Gatling to shoot at the Soul Generals of the Dark Temple? Very quickly. The distance between the two sides was less than 500 meters. The army of 5,000 Soul Generals rushed towards them almost on a bloody road. The corpses of nearly 90,000 Dragon City defenders could be seen in Su Chen's eyes. Both sides 300 meters away. Su Chen squatted on the back of the Thunder Dragon King, holding Gatling, aiming at the army of Soul Generals opposite, and shouted angrily. "Fire!" In an instant, 1,000 dragon riders formed a sagittal formation, all raised their Gatling weapons and pulled the trigger. Puff, puff, puff. Puff, 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 puff. Thousands of gats. Lin opened fire in unison. As the flames spewed out, the barrel of the gun kept rotating, and bullets tempered with golden holy light were quickly sprayed out. Immediately, a metal storm of more than 100 meters long appeared in front of the Soul General's army. Expand. The latter has not yet realized how terrifying this weapon, which is completely different from the Divine Continent, is. Completely ignoring these boring projectile attacks. He holds up the soul-destroying spear in his hand and points it directly at the opposite Dragon Knight and Thunder Dragon mount. Compared with these small projectiles, the famous Dragon Riders and the mighty Thunder Dragon are obviously more threatening. Of course, they are only limited threats. The Soul Generals of the Dark Temple are invincible. Bang! 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 It started from the first bullet hitting the Soul General. The bullets from behind were like raindrops and slanted on them. One after another -300, real damage appeared continuously above their heads. Epic-level equipment and a defense of up to 3,000 were penetrated directly by these weird bullets as if they were nothing. The explosive impact of hundreds of bullets even made these the charge of the Soul General encountered huge resistance. Even the two-headed bone dragon under them, the huge sternum and ribs were shot into chaff and mesh. The momentum of the front army's charge was immediately reduced. Not just 300 points, a real damage attack blessed by holy light suppression. The second-generation 6-barreled Gatling has an ultra-high rate of fire of 3,600 rounds per minute and 60 rounds per second. This is the real terror. A Gatling gun fires 3,600 rounds per minute and 60 rounds per second. The output is up to 18,000 real damage. 1,000 Gatlings can cause 18 million points of overall damage per second. A Soul General has 300,000 HP. In other words, in 1 second, Suchen's dragon with just one ride, 60 powerful Soul General cavalry could be swept away. In less than 10 seconds, the front army of the 5,000 Soul Generals army was peeled off by this metal storm more than 100 meters long. Layer. From time to time, the bones and debris of the two-headed bone dragon and the Soul General Knight were shot out and flew away. A piece of white dust was raised to the rear. The charging momentum of the Soul General Knight was completely stopped. They didn't expect it at all. One by one. A gadget made of black iron pipes can be so powerful. Even epic-level equipment can't defend against the small projectiles sprayed from it. Every second, dozens of souls will be swept away. As Suchen led 1,000 dragon knights and completely rushed into the Soul General's army, he tore them apart with arrogance and ferocity. More bullets were fired in 3 directions. Wherever the dragon knights passed, not a blade of grass grew, bones debris was flying. The powerful Soul General had no power to resist when faced with this kind of weapon. He couldn't even lift the soul-destroying spear in his hand, and was shot directly by the opponent. In just 3 minutes, Suchen led the dragon rider. He had already charged back and forth in the army of Soul Generals for 2 times. The number of Soul Generals killed along the way was as high as 3,009. The 5,000 Soul Generals of the Dark Temple were directly maimed by the opponent like this. He didn't even have the strength to fight back. Such a scene, I could see the limbs of the 20 Alliance players around me were cold and they were fighting. The players who were the nearest defenders of Wanlong City were facing the powerful power of this terrifying weapon. They were all dumbfounded and shocked. As modern people, he is the one who knows the power of heavy weapons like Gatling best. Unexpectedly, Suchen can actually create such a weapon in the game. And he can also exert such power. Even the Soul General can explode. Horrible. Is this the situation of hot weapons versus magic? It's a complete crushing of Chikuakyo. The sub-commander of the Sakura Purgatory Guild wailed to Kuroda Aoi on the channel. Sir, times have changed. This game is so perverted. We can't afford it. Back off, my lord. The War Overlord Guild and the Church of Light were completely wiped out on the battlefield in Baiken. Now it's our turn for Sakura Purgatory and Dark Temple. Kuroda Yufu stood frozen on the spot, looking at the one-sided battle situation in the center of the battlefield, his eyes gradually becoming dull. First, a rapid-fire artillery with 10 times the fire rate of ordinary artillery appeared out of the sky. The blast made millions of players cry for father and mother. Then another, it's a multi-barreled self-aiming rocket launcher. It's like a fucking missile, and it can also track automatically. Now, paralysis has come with thousands of 6-barreled Gatling guns. Sweeping 5,000 Soul Generals invincible. Is this how the Light Church and the War Overlord were defeated? At this moment, even Kuroda Ifu doesn't know what to do. Suchen has too many trump cards, and they are too terrifying. Every time, he realizes at the end that the gap between him and his opponent is as big as the abyss. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 167. A scene in which Suchen led the dragon riders to slaughter the Soul General Night Legion wantonly. The eyes of the black-robed Soul General Dark Phineas were filled with cold light. A pair of soul eyes burning with ghostly fire flickered. Suddenly, he raised his hands and drew mysterious trajectories. A huge black formation was constructed in front of him. Then he pushed with both hands. The black formation immediately flew high into the sky and enveloped the entire battlefield. Forbidden dark curtain. In an instant, the whole world seemed to darken. On the battlefield, the cold wind howled and it was pitch black. Dark Phineas's forbidden spell level dark curtain is the same as the Red Archbishop's great light technique. It can create a stable space. Seeing this scene, the remaining more than 1,000 Soul General Knights silently got off the two-headed bone dragon. Sit where you are. The soul fire in his eyes suddenly became blazing, and it spurted out over a foot long. That's a sign of a burning soul. More than 1,000 soul knights, their heads covered under armor, began to make hoarse and obscure sacrifices and prayers. The great and supreme dark god. I am willing to sacrifice my flesh and blood. Puff, 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 puff. A string of bullets came out at an angle, abruptly interrupting the prayer of a soul general, and at the same time blasting his soul fire-burning head. Suchen raised the Gatling in his hand and blew out the smoke. He didn't even look at the shot-up soul general. With a thought in his mind, the Thunder Dragon King stepped over. With a weight of 15 tons, it was immediately crushed into bones and slag. Suchen shouted loudly to the other dragon riders behind him. Check these bastards, who dares to offer sacrifices and pray, and come for me without even knowing him. Here. General. The dragon riders of the Great Yan Empire have the inherent ability to restrain evil objects. The pitch-black curtain cannot block their vision. Suchen has the blood of the Dragon Emperor, so he will not be affected in any way. Suddenly, the sound of a series of noises echoed in the field again. The sound of Gatling strafing. The prayers of more than 1,000 soul knights suddenly stopped. The heavy machine gun shot the body of a soul knight into chaff, and the heavy thunder dragon added another kick. Click, click. Wherever the dragon rider passed, he left broken bones and debris everywhere. The extremely frightening arrival of ghosts and gods was unexpectedly interrupted by Suchen. Ding! Congratulations on successfully destroying 5,000 Soul General Army. Get experience reward add 100 million. The reputation value of the Dark Temple is minus 100 million. You are listed as a must-kill person by the Dark Temple. Dragon City is listed as the mortal enemy by the Dark Temple. Overhead, the black dragon Mengli let out a high-pitched dragon roar and circled past. She pocketed all the level 80 epic equipment exploded by the Soul Knight. Ding! You get the epic Soul Knight armor *5,000. Ding! You get the epic soul destroying spear *5,000. After doing this, Mengli immediately flew down again. He pestered Suchen to give her a Gatling to play with. Suchen had no choice but to give her a handful. The black-robed Soul General Dark Phineas happened to be furious and activated the skill summoning ghosts and gods. A demigod-level ghost and god rushed towards Suchen with a cold black energy that filled the sky. What greeted it were thousands of six-barrel Gatling guns that could no longer hold back any longer. Puff, puff, puff. Puff, puff, puff. With the holy light suppression attribute, Gatling, even a demigod, can deal 300 points of real damage. As soon as this powerful ghost flew halfway, he was shot out by bullets all over the sky and lost 1,000,000 points of health. The pretty Mengli sat in front of Suchen, holding a heavy machine gun and firing wildly all the way, laughing excitedly. Seeing Suchen shaking his head. This girl is destined to never have a chance to be a lady in this life. The edge of the dense forest in the distance. The black-robed Soul General Dark Phineas fell silent. The demigod-level ghost was killed just after he was summoned to show his face. The combat power displayed by the opponent is terrifyingly strong. This also forced him to weigh in his mind whether he should fight to the death with the other party. He does not have as strong a self-esteem as the Red Archbishop St. Auerbach. If he is invincible, he will choose to escape without hesitation. In the evil camp, surviving is the first rule of survival. As for activating death sacrifice, sacrificing himself, and summoning truly powerful ghosts and gods, he would not do that. Only a living black-robed soul general can rule a party. The dead black-robed soul general is worthless even if he dies violently. The key now is how to find a suitable step so that you can leave gracefully. Boom. Just when the black-robed soul general was hesitant, Suchen led 1,000 dragon riders and rushed towards him. You. Stop the opponent. Tell them to stop now and let Long Cheng declare its surrender to the Dark Temple. Maybe our sect can let them go. Dark Phineas had a sullen face and shouted coldly to the Kuroda charioteer on the side. Ah! The latter looked at this powerful black-robed soul general with a blank expression. Sir, we can't stop you. And, didn't you say that if Dragon City is destroyed, then the city building order? Dark Phineas glanced at him indifferently. Kuroda Yuffie shuddered violently. He nodded quickly and bowed before leaving, while he bit the bullet and ordered the guild members to stop the Dragon Knight, while wailing in his heart. If they, ordinary players, were to intercept Suchen's Dragon Rider, wouldn't that be courting death? As for making Dragon City surrender to the Dark Temple, if Suchen really joins the Dark Temple, that will be the real crisis for the Sakura Purgatory Guild. In that case, the Sakura Purgatory Guild's top spot in the Dark Temple would be lost to Suchen. 20,000 guild members hastily formed a loose defense line in front of the Dragon Riders. If it weren't for the guild commander's promise of attractive bonuses, no one would be willing to face the dragoons like a group of heavy tanks. A commander stood tremblingly in front of the defense line, waving his hand and shouting. Stop the attack immediately. Surrender to the Dark Temple. Black-robed soul general, please forgive me. Boom. The commander hasn't finished speaking yet. Thousands of Dragon Knights suddenly crashed into the player's defense line. It rolled over instantly like a bulldozer. The defense line of 20,000 people seemed to be nothing. Wherever the Dragon Rider passed, there was a smooth path of flesh and blood. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 168. Seeing this scene, Kuroda Yuffie said in horror. The black-robed soul general, they are rushing over. A bunch of trash. Dark Phineas slapped Kuroda's husband to death. It's like swatting an ant to death. It's a pity that Kuroda Yuhao has tried all his tricks and ended up in this situation in the end. Dark Phineas said angrily to the surging Dragon Knight. Enough. This sect understands that it is not easy for you to grow up. If you enter my Dark Temple, I can give you a soul general. If you don't know what to do and really anger this sect, this whole world will turn into purgatory. Suchen, who was charging rapidly on the Thunder Dragon King, turned a deaf ear to the black-robed soul general's angry threats. It's still 100 meters away. Suchen activates Dragon General Halo. The attack and defense of all Dragon Knights are doubled. Immediately afterwards, the secret skill United as One was activated. Immediately, 1,000 Dragon Knights who were equipped with spears all swung a blow. And all gathered in one person, Suchen. The latter raised his sword killing Heaven Emperor high and slashed the black-robed soul general in mid-air. -700. A beam of extremely high damage value floated out from Dark Phineas's head. The latter's body was immediately cut off by a black shadow, and let out a shrill scream. The black shadow is equivalent to the substitute of the black-robed soul general. It takes a lot of effort to condense. Every time one is cut off, the strength and attributes will decrease by 1 point. At the same time, Suchen and all the Dragon Knights were slightly shaken. The blow he just struck was accompanied by a blood-sucking recovery from the calamity bone bell floating above his head. Even its own attributes have begun to rise sharply. Ding! You absorbed 100 points of physical attributes from the black-robed soul general Dark Phineas. Seeing this scene, Suchen was surprised and happy. What happened? Doesn't Scavenger Bone Bell convert attacks into blood recovery? Why is it still absorbing the opponent's attributes? Could it be that it's because of the other party's shadow substitute? Suchen couldn't understand, so he stopped thinking about it. He continued to command thousands of Dragon Knights and activate secret skills. Dark Phineas frightened and angry. Presumptuous. United as one. -7 million. Ding. You have absorbed 100 points of strength attribute from the black-robed soul general Dark Phineas. Stop now. Don't say that what we say is unforeseeable. United as one. -7 million. Ding. You have absorbed 100 points of agility attribute from the black-robed soul general Dark Phineas. You are defying death. United as one. -7 million. Ding. You have absorbed 100 points of intelligence attribute from the black-robed soul general Dark Phineas. Seeing that my attributes have dropped by 10%. Dark Phineas let out a strange scream, raised his hand, and there was a small portal, and he stepped into it. He actually ran away without looking back. This scene shocked everyone. The black-robed soul general of the majestic Dark Temple was actually beaten away by Suchen's Dragon Rider. Isn't there also death sacrifice? Isn't it possible to summon a god-level existence? Black-robed soul general, where is your blood? Where is your face? Are you so afraid of death? Don't talk about the players around you. Even Suchen was a little stunned. I just refreshed my attributes, and the black-robed soul general just ran away. I'm not satisfied enough. But even if Dark Phineas comes, the real Suchen is not afraid of god-level ghosts and gods. With 1,000 dragons riding around, a single united will unite is an attack of more than 7 million. Even if the opponent is a true god, he cannot withstand 2 united will unite. The black-robed soul general, as soon as they left, the entire battlefield fell silent. Immediately afterwards, the Dragon City defenders burst into unprecedented cheers. Win! We win! Dragon City was defended. Long live King's Landing! Long live Dragon City! Listening to the cheers like a mountain roaring and a tsunami. Suchen curled up his lips, and then a cold light burst out from his eyes. All Dragon City defenders obey the order. Open the city gate. All attack. Destroy the enemy troops. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The 3 city gates slowly opened. A wave of players rushed out with their weapons raised high. More than 10,000 dwarf warriors rushed into the frightened 20-nation alliance army, as if they were in an uninhabited land. Thousands of dwarf sheep cavalry was charging all the way. As for Suchen's dragoons, they were giant tanks. Wherever they were crushed, there was a smooth road of flesh and blood. On the entire battlefield, the remaining more than 4 million alliance players, when he was killed, he abandoned his armor and cried for his father. The key point is that Dragon City has not surrendered or accepted prisoners. Kill everyone on sight. If you lie on the ground and pretend to be dead, you have to go up and make 2 cuts. Even if some players are hiding aside and want to, there is no use in activating the return spell. If you return to the city alive, you will only return to the outpost camp, and you will still be on Broken Dream Island. Even if you have a small wooden boat, and even plan to swim back to Jingtang City in the sea, it will be useless. You know, there are many dangers outside. There were also 20 level 3 iron-armored warships led by Yun Fi Ian, cruising around Broken Dream Island. For a moment, the entire battlefield was filled with blood and blood. More than 4 million players from the 20-nation alliance were all killed. Not one escaped. Black Dragon G Mengli flew happily over the battlefield. The massive equipment exploded by the players killed along the way was sucked up like a tide. At the same time, the upgraded white light kept flashing on her body. Ding! Congratulations! The clone Black Dragon G Mengli has reached level 21. Ding! Congratulations! The clone Black Dragon G Mengli has reached level 22. Ding! Congratulations! The clone Black Dragon G Mengli has reached level 23. Ding! Congratulations! The clone Black Dragon G Mengli has reached level 30. Wait until the setting sun turns like blood. The entire Dragon City is shrouded in a bloody sunshine. The corpses of tens of millions of players have been painted into white light by the system. The Dragon City is restored to its original state, just like the epic battle before. There is no trace of it at all. I have experienced the same thing. Only the hundreds of thousands of Dragon City defenders stood proudly on the battlefield, with proud and excited smiles on their faces, and the aftermath of the war was still rippling. Everyone was cheering, and everyone looked at them with extremely fanatical eyes. Looking at the same place. There, thousands of neat and solemn dragon knights, riding majestic thunder dragons, followed Suchen and slowly entered the Dragon City. The setting sun fell on them, reflecting the dazzling light. At this moment, everyone understood that Dragon City had completely determined her position. Next, it was time for her to spread her increasingly plump wings and compete with many forces for hegemony in the entire divine continent. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 169. In Tuanchuan's live broadcast room. The barrage filled the entire screen. Countless people offered their blessings to Dragon City for its victory. Countless people finally recognized the strength of Suchen and his Dragon City. 300,000 people defended the attack from tens of millions of people. It also includes the Church of Light, the Temple of Darkness, a total of 60,000 temples, and the army of undead knights. There are even 5,000 more powerful Judgment Army and Soul General Army. In the end, the Red Archbishop was forced to sacrifice, forcing the black-robed Soul General to run away in embarrassment. Even the true God Light War Angel Six Wings couldn't stop Suchen's victory. One sure strike made the true God fall. Too strong. Except for the black-robed Soul General who escaped, Junlin almost wiped out all the enemies in this battle. Level 3 battleships, rapid-fire artillery, rocket launchers, Gatling, defense towers, mage towers, Dragon City's engineering is amazing. This battle is equivalent to Dragon City giving us a vivid education lesson on engineering equipment. I believe that from now on, Dragon City's copies of Ancient Temple will be maxed out. See Dragon City win. Seeing the great strength displayed by Longcheng and Suchen. Some guilds and consortiums in the domestic service area were so disappointed that they felt so sad. If you and Fire Phoenix Guild Galaxy Guild Jialan Temple that way, they would form a deadly alliance with Longcheng in advance, or support it secretly. Now I don't know how big the benefits will be. Everyone can see how much potential Longcheng has in the future. But now, none of this has anything to do with them. Ding. Server-wide announcement. As the Dragon City War came to an end, server-wide announcements appeared in front of all players. The large regional missions of Dark Temple Battle of Punishment and Church of Light Battle of Holy Light failed. The player Junlin, and the Dragon City he led, won the final victory. Ares Guild Fire Phoenix Guild Galaxy Guild Jialan Temple received guild level rewards at 3. Guild skill level at 3. Guild reputation value at 3 million. At the same time, the reputation value of the Church of Light and the Temple of Darkness is -3 million. Ding. Light Church Dark Temple releases a permanent bounty mission. Anyone who kills War God Guild, Fire Phoenix Guild, Galaxy Guild members of Jialan Temple can immediately obtain the corresponding reputation points of the Church of Light and the Temple of Darkness and the qualification to redeem special items. Seeing the system announcement, Suchen sneered in his heart. He failed to destroy his own dragon city. Now he uses soft knives to cut the flesh and uses bounty missions to weaken the strength of Dragon City. In this case, after completing the Imperial City Ruins mission, I will destroy the branches of the Church of Light and the Temple of Darkness around Jingtang City. As many of your people as you kill me, I will destroy as many of your branches as possible. Let's see who dies first, or I, Dragon City, die first. Dragon City, inside the City Lord's mansion. Suchen left the work of dealing with the aftermath outside to the half-awakened fox and the Zunlong Queen. He got into the secret room alone. This battle has been a huge harvest, and he needs to sort it out. The first is the massive experience value rewards. Whether it was the Temple, the Knights of the Dead, Seraph of Light, Wings, or the Soul General Corps, they all contributed a lot of experience points to him. Excluding the 200 million experience points spent using Shura's strike. In this battle, Suchen accumulated a total of 1.799 billion experience points in his experience storage tank. If converted into a Shura blow, it can cause a damage value of 170 million. An attack power of this magnitude is enough to kill real gods and demons even in the land of Tianyuan. In addition, a lot of fusion points have been gained. Just the Dark Gold level and Epic level equipment released by the two major forces, the Church of Light and the Temple of Darkness, contributed more than 11 billion fusion points. Although the fusion rocket launcher has used 6 billion, there are still 5 billion left. Millions of players killed and exploded a massive amount of equipment, which also contributed nearly 3 billion fusion points. All in all, Suchen now has a total of 8 billion and 70 million fusion points preserved. Enough for him to squander for a while. Blood of Gods and Demons also obtained 1,300 copies. 10 drops of the Blood of Gods and Demons, using Super God level fusion, can fuse a portion of Essence of Gods and Demons. It can improve Suchen's 1-star qualification. These 1,300 copies can increase the qualification by 130 stars. It's just that the number of Super God level fusions required is too many. However, the Blood of Gods and Demons has many uses, and it is also very good for fusing equipment. In addition, the golden holy light erupted from Bright War Angel 6 Wings tempered Suchen semi-artifact Forbidden Zushan Emperor and 1137 Gatlin with a layer of holy light suppression attribute. Used to deal with evil camp units, the effect should not be too good. Not even the terrifying army of soul generals can stop this special attack. Although the durability of most Gatlings has dropped to only 1 or 2,000 points. But the special attribute of Golden Holy Light provides Suchen with a direction for the evolution of weapons, that is, the real damage attribute. If all the attacks of his Dragon Cavalry army were converted into real damage, then he would be truly invincible. In the future, you can pay attention to materials or ores with real damage properties. In addition, the Angel of Light also exploded a divine fragment. This thing is so precious. It is the foundation for Suchen to build a god-demon level dragon riding army. Think about how you will lead an army of god-level dragon riders across the 6 realms in the future. Don't be too happy. Suchen didn't hesitate now. Now the number of super god level fusions has been accumulated 4 times. It doesn't matter if you consume it once or twice. Ding. Activate the super god level fusion talent. In the process of merging divine fragments. Ding. Consume the number of super god level fusion times 1, and you get Godhead 1. When the system beep went off. In Suchen's hand, suddenly there was a polyhedral chip with colorful glare, as bright as a diamond. Looking at the Godhead in his hand, Suchen was filled with excitement. This is a divine object that can truly create gods and demons. If the demigod level seraphim saw it, he would probably rob him to pieces. Even if you are a true god or demon, with Godhead, you can use it to repair the damage to your own Godhead, or to enhance your godly status. Thinking of this, Suchen took a deep breath. Summon an elite dragon knight from the dragon general's space. The latter looked steadily at Suchen and his general. There was pure loyalty and awe in his eyes. Not even the Godhead blooming with brilliant light beside him could shake his firm gaze. Let's do an experiment on you. The first god-demon level dragoon in thousands of years starts with you. Online games, I really don't want to have unlimited fusion. Author, 7 years. Chapter 170. Suchen's infinite fusion talent. Can be fused with any object belonging to Suchen or Wazhu. Lonki completely belongs to Suchen, both personally and loyally. Nature can also be integrated. Ding. Activate the Super God level fusion talent. The main fusion object Elite Dragon Knight 1 and the auxiliary fusion object Godhead 1 have been selected. Ding. Consumption of Super God level fusion times *1, fusion is in progress. Ding. Warn. The bloodline of the Elite Dragon Knight conflicts with the Godhead. The fusion process mutates. Agnostic mutation fusion is taking place. Ding. Congratulations on your successful fusion of Bawang Dragon Knight *1. Hearing the system prompt, Suchen was extremely shocked. Not actually a god-level dragon knight, but a Bawang Dragon Knight. What kind of dragon rider is this? Looking at the dragon knight in front of him who was full of blood, Suchen was extremely surprised. He quickly checked its attributes. Bawang Dragon Knight. Level 20. Race, human race. Qualification, 20 stars. Loyalty, 100, no regrets even if you die. Life, 100,000/100,000. Magic, 5,000/5,000. Attack, 20,000. Defense, 5,000. Skill, Gunmanship level 20, Morale level 20, Unyielding Will, united as one dragon, affinity, fighting in the 8 wastes. Equipment, excellent level dwarf armor set. Seeing the attributes of this 8 desolate dragon knight, Suchen was extremely surprised. The qualification has been directly upgraded from 10 stars to 20 stars. Already a god level qualification. All attributes have been improved tenfold. It is completely comparable to the attributes of a level 70 Templar commander. The key is that this 8 desolate dragon knight is only level 20. In other words, he still has a lot of room for growth. When you reach level 50, you may even be able to defeat 10 of the more powerful level 80 Judgment Army. Once you reach level 80, you should have no problem defeating demigod level angels and ghosts. Reached level 100. Thinking of this, Suchen directly picked up the experience storage tank and poured experience into this 8 Desolations Dragon Knight. Ding. Experience points consumed *100,000. Your Bawang Dragon Knight has successfully reached level 21. Ding. Experience points consumed *200,000. Your Bawang Dragon Knight has successfully reached level 22. Ding. Consumes experience points *1 million. Your Bawang Dragon Knight has successfully reached level 30. Ding. Your Bawang Dragon Knight failed to upgrade. The current upgrade limit has been reached. To continue to level up, you need to level up your Dragon General position first. Infusing 5.5 million experience points along the way, Suchen successfully upgraded the 8 Desolations Dragon Knight to level 30. To continue to improve, you need to upgrade your Dragon General level first. Suchen's current Dragon General level is level 3. It seems that every time my Dragon General levels up, the level limit of the 8 Desolate Dragon Knights can be increased by 10 levels. Suchen secretly speculated. Let's take a look at the main attributes of the current Bawang Dragon Knight again. 8 Desolate Dragon Knight. Level, 30. Life, 200,000/200,000. Magic, 10,000/10,000. Attack, 40,000. Defense, 10,000. After only being promoted to level 10, the attributes of the 8 Desolate Dragon Knights have doubled again. Then when you reach level 60, wouldn't it be more powerful than the demigod level Seraph of Light? You have to know the level of Seraph, but it is a full 200. Suchen's eyes widened in shock. But thinking that whether they are demigods or true gods, they will be greatly suppressed by the gods' continent when they appear in the gods' continent. If these angels arrive in the land of Tianyuan, its attributes are naturally much stronger than the current ones. Of course, if the 8 Desolate Dragon Knights are upgraded to level 200, they will be able to compete even when facing the gods and demons in their full form. Looking at this 8 Desolate Dragons with a terrifying aura Knight, Suchen's eyes are bright. From now on, his Dragon Rider army will be built according to the standards of the 8 Desolations Dragon Riders. Such Dragon Riders are the invincible crown troops that can truly reach heaven and earth and sweep across the 8 Desolations. By the way, it seems that the 8 Desolations Dragon Cavalry has a new skill Battle of the 8 Desolations. Suchen looked at this skill. Skill, fighting in all directions. Level, God level, colorful. Burns life potential and increases combat effectiveness in a short period of time. For each additional enemy unit within a kilometer range, the attack speed and attack range are doubled. Up to 100 times improvement. Skill duration, 20 seconds. Cooling time 3 minutes. I go. Damn, as a dragon general, why don't I have this skill? The moment he saw the introduction of this skill, Suchen was envious. He had the urge to integrate this 8 Desolate Dragon Knight into the skill Unparalleled Evil Madness on the spot. As long as there are enough enemies within a kilometer range, it can be improved 100 times the attack speed and attack range. This is the ultimate skill that makes you braver and crazier as you fight. The more enemies there are, the stronger the fighting power is. A real battle. From now on, I have another powerful subordinate. Suchen happily brought this 8 Desolations Dragon Rider into the Dragon General's space. Then he continued to sort out the gains from this Dragon City war. In this battle, Black Dragon G Mengli has also reached level 30. I don't know how far this girl's attributes have increased. Suchen separated the Black Dragon G Mengli and checked the attributes. Black Dragon G Mengli. Level, 30. Race, Dragon. Qualification, 20 stars. Intimacy, 100, unwavering determination. Life, 200,000/200,000. Magic, 200,000/200,000. Attack, 50,000. Defense, 10,000. Skills, Dragon Breath Flesh Body Strengthening Greedy Forbidden Fire Meteor from Heaven. Equipment, Instant Strike Gloves. Seeing the attributes of Black Dragon G Mengli, Suchen opened his mouth wide. I go. This is too exaggerated. Like the 8 Desolations Dragon Knight, his qualifications have also been upgraded to 20 stars. The attributes are even stronger than those of the 8 Desolate Dragon Knights. The 8 Desolate Dragon Knights fused a divine head, and their attributes changed, which Suchen could understand. But Black Dragon G Mengli didn't fuse anything, she just simply upgraded from level 20 to level 30. There would be such a big change. The key is that the qualification goes from 15 stars to 20 stars, from extraordinary to God level, without any warning. It's like the seal is being lifted, the strength and attributes have improved too fast. Such a thought suddenly flashed through Suchen's mind. He once again recalled the scene when he met Black Dragon G Mengli. At that time, the other party was just a sculpture on a wooden chair carried by Saint Thiefchi. But he could. The pressure caused all the attributes of the saint-level powerhouse to drop drastically. This was enough to prove the origin of the black dragon Ji Mengli. Looking at Ji Mengli, who was clinging to him with a look of attachment, Suchen squeezed her tenderness fondly. Face. It seems that only when the strength reaches a certain level in the future can we know the origin and secret behind this girl.